Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of YOUTHVIEW, a podcast by Skill Creative. On this week's episode, we're going to be taking a look at multiculturalism within Central Coast. We're going to have a good chat with Mike McCarthy, the creative director at The Skill Engineer. He's currently working on an amazing project called In My Shoes, so we're going to get to know a bit more about that. But first up, we'll have a segment of Jar of Truth, and yeah, let's rip in.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Rowan.
I'm Brad.
And this is Jar of Truth.
Alright, I'll kick us off. I'll do the first one. I'm nervous.
Ooh.
I've only ever been behind the camera for Jar of Truth. I've never been on camera, so this is intense. Okay, blue writing. Advice to your 12-year-old self.
Oof.
Such a gnarly question because, I don't know, I wasn't really doing anything when I was 12.
Yeah, I don't think I
I
was
was just running around causing trouble. Advice to my 12-year-old self. Probably, I really am a firm believer in try everything and you know, dip your toe in every pond sort of thing. But I did so many different things when I was a kid, like different sports, different things like surfing, music, all these different things. Like maybe put more time into one and just focus on one for a little bit. But I had fun, so
yeah. I think that's the complete opposite to me. I think I only focus on one thing. I don't really try new things. Like I wasn't trying new foods or like new cultures or anything like that. So I think exploring different things would probably be good for me.
yeah.
For me, I'd say stuff when you're doing it, if you're not enjoying yourself, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of times where I was doing stuff, so I played basketball, did state stuff, and I just wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I eventually stopped doing it, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. So I feel like knowing when to stop doing things that you're not enjoying is very important.
Wicked. Get into it, Jesse.
Next question. If you had to choose one band to listen to, what one? Is this like let's go live band. What band would you listen to?
Oh, that is a ridiculously
Is it
high
band or is it like, could it be a solo artist?
Could be a solo. I'm down for solo artists too.
I'm a musician too, so I'm like kind of a music snob. Yeah. Not in a bad way, but like I like a lot of stuff, but that's tricky. I don't know, do you have one?
I'd probably go either Polyphia, because their songs great technical metal and I feel like their shows would be really fun. Or it's hard. I feel like it'd be Polyphia. Probably Polyphia.
It's too hard to choose.
Yeah.
So I've got a very diverse range of music taste. Like heavy metal, country, rap, pop, like everything pretty much. So could choose like Metallica, Slipknot, Iron Maiden, or I could choose like Ren is one of my favorite artists at the moment. NF,
cool.
like an artist like that even.
Yeah, I wouldn't know who to pick. It would just because I would feel like I'm doing wrong by the other artists that I like.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one person or one band currently that I'm super into that I like, it would be a band called Wonder Horse. I really, really like this band called Wonder Horse, and they kind of tick all the boxes for me at the moment.
Okay.
But then ask me that question tomorrow and it'll be a different
Yeah.
it's a tricky one. All right, you're up, Rowan.
All right. Get in there.
Who is the best artist of our generation?
Because that isn't just music. That can be art, that could be book writing, anything like that.
I mean, I guess
I feel like you can easily list off previous generations, but our generation's hard to know currently.
You've got like the Kid Laroi or something. He's been good. He's been very influential.
I'd say like it's a bit of a controversial one, but I really do think, even though it's like not a lot of it's not my music, Kanye West is a ridiculously good artist.
Yeah.
He's just up there. But then on a different direction, and I guess he's probably not just before my era, but Quentin Tarantino. I'm a big fan of his films, and yeah, I don't know, that's me. What about you guys?
If we're talking overall influence for our generation, it would definitely be something like Taylor Swift or roughly around that area. But for me personally, I'd go more out of talent, Tim Henson from Polyphia. One of the greatest guitar players I've ever heard. That's probably my only answers overall.
It's hard because there's not really any big name artists of our generation. Like you've got some big ones, but not like ones where if they're doing a tour around a country, they're getting millions and millions of people watching, like the Eras tour for Taylor Swift. Like they're not getting that kind of audience.
But even Taylor Swift, she isn't really our generation. Like, she's come out with new music, but
She's been around forever.
she's been
around for 10 or 15 years, something like that.
Quite a long time now.
So a lot of current generation talents are just the final version of previous generation talents. So I think we'll need to be asked this question in like 10 years and be able to tell a more definitive answer. But
Give us time on this question, please.
yeah, we'll have to be vague.
All right, I'm going in again.
Oh yeah.
I'm scared.
What if I drop it?
What colour do you associate yourself with?
Ooh.
Well, what are the colours in relation to emotions? Red's like angry and blue's sad, I guess. I'm gonna say, I'm trying to think of something really creative to say and something like really out there, but I haven't got anything, so I'm gonna say like light green.
Light green.
And that's no, I don't know. That's a tricky one. Orange.
Orange. No elaboration.
And I'm not going to elaborate it on
It's
on
orange.
any level. It's orange, and I don't know why, but that just popped into my head.
That's all we need. I'd go sort of like a light blue aqua kind of thing.
See, that's what I was trying to do, come up with a clever answer, but I couldn't do it.
Just because it's sort of calm, but yeah, mainly just calm, because that's what I kind of pride myself on.
Nice.
I think probably yellow for me.
Yeah.
That joyous sort of colour.
Yep.
I'm always pretty happy.
I can see it. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Time for my second. Ooh, small one. What's one thing you would change about society?
That's a tricky one.
I feel like people who just hate on others simply because it's not something they like.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm walking down the street, someone has a shirt of a band I don't like, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to go, "You suck, get off the street," or something like that. I feel like if we can just eliminate the people who do that,
Yeah.
if that's not in society, I feel we'd just be a more accepting and happy place.
What about
Yeah.
you, Ron?
Probably like world peace or something like that.
Yeah.
Stopping wars. Just things like that. Hunger.
Yeah. I mean, to try and bring something different, I would maybe say, like opportunities for young people, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
create more of an achievable sort of, like world for people our age and your age. I don't know, like me, I'm still experiencing it as a young adult, that it's like, it's really tricky to, like, with the cost of living and just expectations on what you're supposed to do in your life, it's pretty tricky to manage. So I don't know, maybe creating a more kind of like calmer state of, society that people can actually thrive in and achieve more in. I don't know, creating more opportunities that don't take away from creative sort of.
Yeah, because a lot of the time
people.
you're forced to sacrifice what you want to do to be
yeah.
able to survive, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially currently with cost of living in Australia, house prices. I'm pretty sure the average person is 25 to 28 before they can actually afford a house.
Yeah, I was talking with a friend last night, and he was saying, when he was a kid, his dad said, what you should do by the time you retire is own 3 houses. You should live in one of them and rent the other 2 out. And now he's like, if I can afford 1 house, I'll be very happy. And it's just like, but that was the thought process back in the day.
Playing
it was
with Monopoly.
Yeah, literally. It's like, yeah. Like,
Wow.
The thought of owning 3 houses is not even, it's beyond a dream. Like, it's crazy, but it's where the world is, unfortunately. Yeah. Rowan,
Get in.
send us home, my friend.
What would your tombstone say to describe your life?
Morbid.
That's heavy, but I like it. It's a good question.
Part of me wants to just go something completely dumb, just like, yeah, he was alright. He was chill.
Yeah, mine would say, life's a garden, dig it. I've got that tattooed on my arm.
Oh, yeah.
Get a shot of that on the camera. Yeah, mine would say that, or it was fun knowing you'll see in the next life. Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to be something stupid. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
I couldn't do something serious.
I do not think I could sit there
or something like that. That's why I always say, like, I've always said this. I watched a show called Californication when I was younger. It was one of my favorite shows ever. And there's this scene where they're in a funeral for this guy, and he puts on like a big hologram of himself. And the first thing he says is like, if you guys are watching this, that means I'm dead, which really sucks. But it is what it is, and it's all good. Everyone have a good time, rock on. And then just starts like playing guitar, and it's really funny. So I've always wanted to do that for my own funeral. So if I die, I'm going to have a USB with a little film on it that someone has to play. I don't know, what about you, Rowan? Were you chucking on your tombstone?
Maybe to those who thought I left, I never left. Love that quote.
That's pretty.
Send him on a wild goose chase.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you in the next segment.
Let's go. All right, Mike. So we're going to be interviewing you about your In My Shoes multicultural program. So just to start off, what's multiculturalism in Central Coast for you?
Well, yeah, I grew up on the Central Coast and always played soccer and surfing and music and all that sort of stuff. And I think, I saw the Central Coast as a very Anglo-Saxon kind of vibe. It was, a lot of white head, surfy kids who I played soccer with and everything like that. My family had friends from different communities, and so that was good. I had that understanding growing up, and my parents took us to the Philippines and a few other different countries where I was very fortunate to sort of see other cultures and know about them. So I think that was important. But I was actually playing soccer with the Central Coast, and we would go down to Bankstown and play down there, and I'd be like, oh my goodness, look at the diversity in these guys. They're amazing soccer players, and all of us rat bags from the Central Coast, all surfy guys, we just got flogged. But yeah, I think that was probably one of the first times where I was like, wow, there's a lot of different cultures living all around us. But I guess on the Central Coast you just didn't see that all that much.
Yeah, would you say that's been changing though recently?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's really grown a lot in the last probably 10 years or so. And I know like some of the stats out there are that the change is almost like over 5% in our community at the moment in the last 5 years. I can see that there's a growing Indian population. There's a big group of Chinese people in the community now, and I just think there's a big representation from across many countries, and that can only be a really good thing for our culture here on the Central Coast.
Good. So, In My Shoes, can you just give us a kind of outline of what it is?
Yeah, sure. So In My Shoes was something that I wanted to get off the ground because I saw a need for young people from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds to have a chance to sort of get their hands on the equipment that we use in the media world, to be able to tell their stories and to be able to celebrate the Central Coast as a multicultural society in a broader society, which is New South Wales and then Australia and then in the world. So like we're a small little area here, but we're part of something bigger. And I'd love to sort of have those grassroots stories coming from the Central Coast that, people can watch or listen to or be part of and think, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe that someone's been through that and now they're living in the Central Coast area. And they've got all of this amazing talent and vibrance to share.
Mm-hmm. So there is a lot of different talented people I've seen. So I know just off the top of my head, Aboriginal paintings.
Yep.
That sort of stuff really interests me. And there's a lot of stuff around the Central Coast to be able to see that.
Yeah.
So do you think the program itself, will it cover that sort of aspects, or will it just be around the stories of these people?
It'll definitely cover the arts, because that's a big part of what we're doing here at Skilled Creative. Is we love all the disciplines of art. We do tend to focus on film and on podcasting and that sort of thing, but we are so open and flexible to wanting to celebrate art on all fronts, So I think, definitely we're open to that. And yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, multiculturalism, it's a pretty broad brush because everybody's from a culture. So we're all from different cultures here on the Central Coast. Whether you are an Anglo-Saxon who's had parents from England or grandparents or great-great-great-grandparents, we've all come from somewhere. And like, I think it's worth celebrating everyone coming together as a whole. And like, I was just this week at the multicultural premiers dinner, which was called the Harmony Dinner. And there was 1,600 people there, all walks of life, most nationalities represented. It was a really amazing event full of colour and dancing and art, and there are awards given out for organisations that are in this space, and it was just amazing. I was blown away, actually. It was such a good night, and I just felt like, wow, we are part of something huge here, and in New South Wales, we're really fortunate to have such diversity. I just think it's such a beautiful thing.
Do you want to tell us more about the Harmony Dinner? Like, what was the purpose of the night and what were the goals that we're trying to achieve?
Yeah, good question. So the night was put on by Multicultural New South Wales, and SBS were a big part of the night as well. I think it's been going for a long time, an annual event that marks Harmony Week. And so a lot of what the night was about was celebrating different young people. They were celebrating arts organisations, and other organisations in health and all that sort of thing. They're all being awarded for such amazing work in the community across New South Wales, in the regions as well as in the cities. So yeah, there was a lot of awards all night. I was running around with a camera, so I got to see some of them, but I was here and there. And then apart from that, it was a beautiful dinner where everyone was on round tables. There was some dancing from an African group. There was some drumming. There was tabla and a Chinese flautist sort of thing. And it was a pretty amazing night. Then they all partied at the end, and there was a DJ, and everyone just went off having fun. So it was a really cool night. I felt very honoured to be amongst all those people.
Does sound very interesting, but for the future of In My Shoes, are we thinking of continuing it along the way, and maybe seeing yourself getting an award at those kind of events?
Well, yeah, let's hope so, I guess. I don't know. Look, that'd be lovely, but we're at the very beginning of this project, and my focus is just on setting it up really well and making sure that we've got the right partners on board and that we're reaching out to our community here on the coast and making sure that everyone knows what we're doing so that we can all have input into this project. And we're not doing this on our own. It needs to be a whole of the region sort of thing. So yeah, we are reaching out to all organisations, individuals who want to be part of this and see how we can work together to make it really special. And hey, if awards come, then that's lovely. But if not, we'll continue doing what we do.
It's about just getting out there and helping the community.
That's right. Yep.
So who are these other people that we know of so far that are working with you?
That's a very good question. So we have some partners on board at the moment, and they are the Central Coast Council, which is fantastic because that's a broad brush that they paint, obviously. And we work with the Central Coast Council Youth Services quite closely and have done for some of our events like Sound Soul and other stuff with the DigiVan. So that's a really strong and great partnership that we have there. And also with the Central Coast Community Council, not to be mistaken with council, but separate organisation.
There's an extra C there.
Yeah, the 4 C's. I've still got to come up with a good acronym for them apart from CCCCC. Maybe that was 5. I don't know. But
I
anyway.
lost count after 2.
The Quad C, we'll call them. There you go. They so they organise a lot of. They're kind of a bit of an intermediary group that are such great networkers amongst the community, and so like already Penny, who's at the CCC, has really put me in touch with some great organisations like Mosaic, and like they're the Northern Settlement people. So working with new migrants coming into the area, or working with young families from the CALD community. So when I say CALD, culturally and linguistically diverse people. So they run a young families group or a young mothers group up at Wyong. So I got to go up there recently and film with them and hear about their stories. So that was really exciting. And then other Penny at CCCC has also like put me in touch with some people like the Heart Dancers and just she's got all the great contacts. So. And next week we're putting on a harmony lunch ourselves to launch the project at the Hub in Erina. So if anyone wants to find out more, please get in touch with me through the skillengineer.com.au website. We'd love to see people there to celebrate and to launch our project.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. It was a very good interview to kind of get us perspective about the Central Coast and In My Shoes program that you have so far. So
thanks. Nice to be on the couch for the first time. And actually it's quite comfortable. I'm glad that it's working out so well, and you guys are doing great. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
We just had Mike McCarthy come on, talk to us about multiculturalism and his new program In My Shoes. Talking to us about Harmony Week coming up, and the Harmony dinner that was put on the other night.
Sometime next week. Oh yeah.
The Harmony dinner from the other night with awards and music and
we actually had some very good footage of that he shot. It looked really fun.
It did.
So you could see tons of different music from many different cultures. That sort of environment, something that I think would be really good, especially to have on the Central Coast. And hopefully these programs that he's doing is going to work towards the celebration of that aspect. For example, I, for one, don't think I could live without certain foods. And
Indian food, Chinese food,
yeah, so
Japanese
I
foods.
love noodles. And Chinese, Japanese.
Indian's one of my favorite cuisines. Indian, Mexican. I love those type of foods. Spanish food's also very good.
Ooh, I actually don't think I've had much Spanish.
Yeah, it's good. But we're getting a bit sidetracked.
Yeah. But that program, the In My Shoes, it's to share the stories, like he was saying, of all the different people of different walks of life. And in doing so, being able to celebrate and appreciate each other, which is extremely important in current day. And it's very good to hear from him, actually, that I think it was 5%. There's been a 5% increase of varying culture in the Central Coast. And we just want to celebrate that, which is very nice to see.
It's also next week at the Hive in Erin Affair.
Yep.
Is promoting the new program In My Shoes. So make sure to go down and check that out. Support Mike, support the Skill Engineer.
And the In My Shoes program.
To finish today off, we're going to do a quick questionnaire about multiculturalism.
Let's do it.
So Jesse, question number 1. How many cultures are present on the Central Coast?
Oh, because I feel like it would be a lot. Definitely got Australian, England, Irish, Scottish, Indian, Chinese. And I'd say there's at least triple that. So let's go 20, round number.
19.
Oh, one off. All right. That's basically a point. That's close enough.
What ethnicity has grown the most on the Central Coast in terms of numbers?
So I know we previously talked that some of the most growing was Indian and Filipino. But I'm not sure which one. I'm going to go Filipino just because it's the one I've seen the most.
Survey says Australian and Aboriginal.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Got a bit of a personal one now.
Personal?
What is my favorite cuisine? Is it either Indian, Mexican, Italian, or Japanese?
All right. So from the previous off-topic comments we had about food, I remember there was 2 specific things he said. One was Spanish, and the other one was Indian. And I don't think Spanish is on that list, so I'm going to go with Indian.
That is correct.
It's 1 point on the board. Let's go.
Last question.
Yep.
What percentage of people on the Central Coast speak more than one language?
Oh. I feel like it's going to be much larger than I think it is. Because spoken languages, you don't know someone speaks to until you actually properly ask them. So I'd say it's something like 13%. Let's go there.
Half that.
Half that?
6.5%.
6.5. Exactly. Oh. All right. Well, that's interesting.
All right. That's it for today.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Very good.
Stay tuned for next week.
Brand new Youth View, and for any upcoming news about any skill engineer projects, as well as In My Shoes, any stuff like that, we'll keep you posted on all our socials. Thanks for listening.